Welcome to the Best of Hoops with Jordan Vargas, presented by the Sportscast. Today's date is April 5th, 2021. If you have not yet, please subscribe to all channels, YouTube, Periscope, and Apple Podcast. If you are an Apple Podcast, please leave a rating and a review. It will help us out tremendously. Visit us on the sportscast.net. Also follow us on Twitter at the Sportscast1 and check out our iOS App Store, the Sportscast. Here today with Jordan Vargas, we have Santiago joining us, the creator of the Sportscast. Santiago, how are you doing?
Jordan Vargas, thanks for inviting me for this Monday show, the eve or a couple hours before the national championship, March Madness, coming to a conclusion. Pretty psyched about it. Of course, it's NBA news, but you definitely have a lot of basketball going on these past couple of days.
You do. Now, I think what people are probably antsy about talking about is Jalen Suggs hitting that game winner from half court.
29-footer, Jordan. I don't think we ever saw Steph Curry doing that. As far as I know. But yeah, magnificent win by Gonzaga. UCLA challenged him. And keep in mind, Jordan, UCLA was ranked number 11. Gonzaga was walking every team as of until like Saturday.
Correct.
Things were tight. UCLA probably led about 4 or 5 times. Please correct me if I'm wrong, fans. And Gonzaga, hey, they were pulling LA Lakers back in 2002 when the Kings were pushing them to Game 7.
Right.
That's what it felt.
Yeah, I mean, that shot was like, it was kind of shattering, I think, for UCLA fans because, I mean, again, they're ranked 11th, and here comes the number 1 team. They continue to steamroll. Gonzaga is supposed to be possibly one of the best basketball teams, best college basketball teams, probably in NCAA history, just because they're unstoppable.
Now, do you think we witnessed the best game of the tournament, or do you think tonight can live up to? I mean, can surpass what happened Saturday?
I think tonight can possibly surpass Saturday, just because it's going to be it's going to be an intense matchup. It's going to be an intense matchup. Santiago, who do you have winning?
Baylor Bears. I want them to win, but dude, I think Gonzaga's going to do it. I think what happened on Saturday, and I've seen this before, Jordan. I've seen this before when teams have easy tournament, easy season. I know easy is a big word, but when they won that game on Saturday, that momentum is like, it's going to spill over to tonight. Now, will tonight be close? That's the question. Jordan, what do you think is going to happen?
I think Baylor's going to have it in the first quarter, the first half. But I think Gonzaga is going to have that momentum, and they're going to have the experience. As I said a couple of weeks ago that Gonzaga has a team that to the end of their bench, their player can contribute in some way. Now, I don't think that speaks for Baylor fully, if we're being honest here. I don't think the end of their bench player will match Gonzaga's. So they just have that team chemistry, and it's everybody can contribute. So if one person's not doing it as a collective, as a team, they don't lose focus or they don't lose momentum.
One key fact,
that's what's going to happen.
One key fact everyone was talking about after Saturday was that Suggs also played college football, but I guess college basketball is his main sport now.
Yeah, Suggs was a 4-star recruit out of high school. And this is interesting, but women's basketball, Paige Buckers, that has been a huge name for women's basketball, going down as the youngest person in UConn history to be named. I forget, she got an award. I think it was like the best point guard in the nation award or best women's basketball player award. I'm not too familiar with that. Maybe you guys can tell me on that one. But Jalen and Paige ended up going to middle school together, and they also were best friends in high school. So it's crazy that in the women's basketball section, Paige Buckers, freshman, one of the best players in NCAA women's, and then Jalen, best player in NCAA for men's, and they ended up, they're really good friends. They've known each other for a long time.
What does that tell you? That means that that particular high school is producing talent.
Oh, you're going to see someone else coming out of there pretty soon. Chet Homard. He's like a 7'1" dude's huge. He's insane. You're going to see him coming out of Minia High School pretty soon.
Zion-esque type of player?
No, he's really, really skinny.
Okay,
really
my bad.
skinny, kind of like a young Dirk. I'll put it that way. He's really,
Wow.
really skinny. But he has height and he knows how to handle the ball.
Oh, by the way, women's basketball, Stanford won on Saturday.
Yep.
Congrats to them.
Yep.
Huge win.
Hmm.
Good tournament by Stanford. They beat, I believe, Kansas. I don't remember. I got double check. But Stanford won, the champions of women's college basketball. They beat Arizona, my bad.
Hmm.
And it was 53-54. 1 point game. Wow.
And Stanford women's basketball, if I recall, they've been on kind of like a winning streak. Before I think they entered the tournament, they were on a losing streak.
They
They're like on
ended
a
31
four.
too. So
Yeah,
that's
they
pretty
were on
good.
like a 4 game losing streak, and then I think they picked it right back up when they hit the tournament. So congratulations, yes, correct. Congratulations to the Stanford women's basketball. That's gonna be, it's a good win for them. But anyways, now we are entering the NBA segment of my show. Big news for Milwaukee Bucks. Drew Holiday agrees to a 4-year contract extension with the Milwaukee Bucks. Um, it's
What does
good
that
to
tell
have.
you, Jordan? Is that something that they're eyeing this guy as? I mean, obviously Lillard is the man in
Right.
Portland. No, sorry, my bad. Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
Giannis is the guy in Milwaukee, but
Yeah.
how much value, how important is Drew Holiday to this organization?
Well, he's a great add-on to Chris Middleton and Giannis. Now they're the trio. It's like a Dennis Rod, it's like a Rodman, Michael, and Pippen. Not exact terms, but for the Milwaukee Bucks, it's huge. There's 3 players that they can really bounce off of. And I think it's just big for their organization to lock someone down like him. He's been actually averaging really good numbers. He's been averaging 17 points, 5.4 assists, and 4.6 rebounds, which in the grand scheme of things in the NBA for as long as he's been playing, is terrific. They locked him down for 134 million if fully agreed. That's how much money he's going to get, and I believe he got 154 million when he was in New Orleans. So
And he posted on his Twitter, he's a buck for life. I am a buck for life on his Bucks Twitter account. Can you believe that?
that's a nice statement. I'm sure that's going to make Milwaukee feel probably a lot better knowing that he's loyal to them because he's
There
a
was
great player.
great player. It's funny because there was one point where I thought last year or 2 years
Mm-hmm.
ago that Milwaukee wasn't going to be the place for those players to stay at. Like I was thinking maybe Giannis will leave by now to a bigger market because Milwaukee is known as a mid market city. No one wants
Right,
to.
it's a very blue collar city in Wisconsin.
Yeah, so you would think Giannis or maybe Drew Holiday would go to Miami, LA, perhaps Brooklyn,
Correct.
teams like that. But
Mm-hmm.
it feels like Milwaukee is doing their homework, just like what they did in Oklahoma City, where they want to keep these main players in Milwaukee. But keep in mind, Jordan, they got to win something too.
They do got to win something. And what I think is interesting about, and that gives me more respect for Giannis and more of a fan of who he is that he stayed in Milwaukee through thick and thin because Milwaukee took a chance on a kid from Greece, a really, really young kid from Greece. They took a chance on him. They drafted him. And I think them taking a chance on him like that early on, I bumped my mic by accident. Him taking a chance early on is going to lead to them greater success in the future. Giannis is going to recruit these guys. He's going to keep them in the area. And Giannis's other brother, I think his name is Alex. Alex. I can't remember which one. I think
Alex
there's,
Antetokounmpo.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. I know there's 3 of them in the NBA right now, but
But like the East, everyone talks about Brooklyn. People
right.
are, I guess, kind of forgetting Milwaukee. But do you think,
Yeah.
Jordan? Do you think Milwaukee has a chance to win the East this year?
Yes. Yes, and I'll just say that just because of team chemistry and who they have up right now. Now, it's kind of a worry because Giannis missed the Kings game due to a soreness in his knee, which is kind of concerning because when you look at a guy of his size, it's like you think he's like 7 foot tall. When you're about 7 feet, a little bit over, and you have soreness in your knees, that's a lot of pressure on your knees, and especially with how big he is. We saw him get some muscle growth and how hard he trains and how much effort he puts on the court. it's concerning to know that he has some soreness in his knee. So hopefully, that will get better. I think it already has. I mean, he's in the NBA, and they get the best trainers, in the world to come keep these guys in shape.
But he hasn't had any major injuries, or he hasn't really sit out for like 2 weeks or something like that, right?
No, Giannis really hasn't set out for very long. Um,
That's pretty good.
he's like a very, very well-rounded player. I think Giannis is probably one of the more well-rounded players in the NBA.
And guess who was his mentor a couple years back? Kobe Bryant. Before he died, Kobe and him were tight, and
Hmm.
that will be good for Giannis and Milwaukee because Kobe is a championship-minded player. You know that, like
Correct. Yep.
he's a killer. He's a Mamba. I
Hmm.
think he passed that mantle over to him. Hopefully, it works out.
Oh, I mean, him and Devin Booker. I know Kobe and Devin Booker were really, really close too. Uh,
I did
so
not know that.
well, maybe we'll see Devin and Giannis. Think of what if but Devin's not going to leave Phoenix, just like Giannis is not going to leave Milwaukee. But I was
Oh,
going to
man,
say if they
Devin.
teamed up, but those
I
are
love
two
Devin
very
Booker,
loyal
dude.
players. Those
Yeah,
are
I
two very
love.
loyal players.
Assassins, especially Booker. That guy is like,
Put up 72 points.
dude, dude. You don't hear that besides maybe Kevin Harden here and there, but this Booker. How is Phoenix in the West? Where are their chances? Do you think they have like a year or 2 years away from competing in the Western Conference championship game?
Um, yeah, I do. Just because they've been kind of steamrolling the West. They've been proving everybody that they're definitely having a different season than their past. And they're just going to keep moving forward. And with a leader like Devin Booker on the Phoenix Suns, I think it's great.
Hey man, we need something more than Steve Nash back when he played for the Suns back in the
With
day.
Amari Stoudemire and yeah,
That team was pretty good, but Kobe just stomped them
yeah,
at
killed
the
them.
Western Conference Finals. They just. But this team Booker, dude, you're right. I think this Booker guy might be the guy is what they needed. Maybe give
Hmm.
him over the edge. But of course, you got some other teams like the Jazz, Lakers, Nuggets. But hey, let's do it, Booker. Come on, shoot him, make it.
Speaking of Phoenix, Isaiah Thomas played for Phoenix Suns, but now, more recently, he has signed a 10-day contract with the New Orleans Pelicans.
Wow.
People are rooting for Isaiah Thomas. I
Same
think
as Isaiah
as
Thomas from the Celtics that used to play for the Celtics.
yeah, Isaiah Thomas used to play on the Celtics. He's
Wow.
playing the Suns. He played
Because
on
he
the
had a bad
Lakers.
bad injury
Played
a
on the
couple years
Cavs.
ago,
Yeah,
and then I guess he kind of fell off the roof like Rose, but I guess he's doing better, right?
I mean, I wouldn't say he fell off the roof like Rose. But I mean, I actually at the same time though, you have a point. I mean, Isaiah Thomas is only 5'8". He's not a very
Small
big
in the
guy.
NBA, no. And
And
I mean, there was one point, Jordan, that I thought Isaiah Thomas was the franchise main player at Boston.
mhm.
Brad Stevens easily let him go for Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, which was a mistake because Kyrie ended up not liking Boston.
One year
I
wonder.
think Stevens learned his lesson there. That Kyrie, but Steven kind of likes smaller players. I mean, Nate Robinson, he was over in Boston.
That's interesting. You think there's like some type of like strategy there? I know small players who get in and out easily. Like they tend to be point guards, but there might be some strategy there with that. I don't
And
know.
I think we need to make a petition on the sportscast to get Nate Robinson back in the NBA.
Dude, how old is that guy? He's about 36. I think he's still capable. Of playing.
Oh, he is, and people forget being. Yeah, think about this: being 5'9", but you win. You're a 3-time, 2-time NBA dunk champion in the All Star. Come
He,
on,
yeah, he
come on.
recently, I believe he boxed Jake Paul,
Yeah, he boxed Jake Paul.
but he lost. I think
He
that's not
lost. Yeah,
good.
he got that. He became a meme. He became a meme.
Oh,
But
dude,
I
come
mean,
on.
Nate Robinson though I think is a freak of nature. I mean, I don't know why teams don't
Yeah,
take it. Well, he I heard that Nate Robinson talked about he was too happy he would settle the NBA. He loved being in the NBA, and I guess when you're kind of comfortable like that, teams don't like that. So he got released. He calls it being too happy in the NBA.
dude. I remember that one series he had against the Miami Heat, which you probably remember this.
But the
He
Chicago Bulls,
Chicago Bulls,
oh
really
yeah, that
good
was
series. We didn't. The Heat was totally surprised at Nate Robinson. I think he was.
he blocked LeBron. He got in LeBron's face. He got Boozer riled up. I mean, A. Robinson is a dog. I mean,
dude.
he's a
But then
dog,
after that year,
right? The
he,
Bulls got rid of him.
yeah, why did they get rid of him?
I think it's the expected return of Derek. Because remember, Derek was
Yeah.
out, Nate came in.
And keep in mind, guys, about a year prior to that,
Hmm.
Derek Rose was the MVP of the league.
Yep.
So you just don't know things, right? You just don't know. Only
It's
history can
very,
tell,
yeah.
and you gotta go by your gut sometimes, and sometimes your gut could be wrong, right, Jordan?
I mean, that's what it appears. I think in not only NBA, but I think everyone's like daily life. Um. Anyways, the Lakers to win. We're gonna discuss if the Lakers have a chance to pull off. I know we just said Phoenix, but on the other side of it, do the Lakers possibly have a chance to steamroll through the West and go to and become an NBA championship contender? Now, the Lakers recently acquired Andre Drummond, and Andre Drummond kind of had I think he kind of fell off a little bit. He joined the Cleveland Cavaliers for a hot second. I think it was a couple years, but he was really, really good in Detroit. If you remember him in Detroit.
Yeah, he was the main player there. I believe that was their first draft pick back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Really 6'10", really tall player.
Correct.
And you see these players sometimes they dip a bit, but when they go
Mm-hmm.
to a serious organization, I know that word serious is pretty big, like the Lakers, they start coming back into form in a way. They start like being what they're known to be. Is this enough? Is this what the Lakers need to win that back-to-back championship?
I think it definitely helps. Having someone like Drummond on their team definitely helps. But the only problem is though, LeBron is out with I think it's an ankle injury, and we don't know when AD is going to come back.
Now,
So
now, of course, we don't know about like with AD, but how about LeBron? Do you think he'll come back in a few weeks, few days, or
yeah, I
until
don't think
playoff time? Or
yeah, I don't think the goat's gonna actually remember. Oh, Michael Jordan's the goat, but LeBron is the goat of this generation.
of
I don't think
2021?
the power of LeBron is gonna sit this one out and let the playoffs come and he's gonna be on the bench.
Now,
He gets paid too much.
oh yeah, and
He
plus
gets paid
that,
too much to sit on the bench while he watches the team in the playoffs.
yeah, and plus that movie coming out this week. I mean this summer. But before Drummond, the Lakers had JaVale McGee.
They had
Is that
JaVale McGee.
the position that like the Lakers want Drummond to play like his role and be that guy that comes out the bench and get those rebounds and get those dunks?
JaVale McGee has obviously had more experience in the NBA. But again, Andre Drummond is more coordinated and he's younger, he's faster, stronger. JaVale McGee was the only one who had experience under his belt, but he was a great, great role player. He was a good player to get in. I know he started, but he was just a great player to rely on. He was always consistent, and if you needed something, he got it.
How old is
Unfortunately,
Drummond?
um, I want to say 30, maybe 20.
Let me
Um,
double check myself because I
Andre
because I was
Drummond is
thinking
27 year. Andre Drummond is 27 years old.
I was about to say 24.
Yeah,
He's
he's not
not
very old. He's
young or he's
still
not
very,
old. He's
very
still,
young.
I mean, he's getting in right to his prime. Obviously, in soccer, is 27 to 32. I would say the same for basketball. Between 27 and 32 is when you get in your prime, when things start shining. But he's coming well with the Lakers. I think this is a huge hit. We'll see. They signed them for, let's see, for 1 year, right? Or for a few
Hmm.
days. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, I think one thing that the Lakers are concerned about is his recovery though, because Drummond did run into some issues, excuse me, with injuries. So I think
Injury
the Lakers
prone,
are just
dude.
concerned about that. But if we get AD, LeBron, Drummond back in full health, Santiago, I mean that would be great. But again, I don't know if that'd be enough to beat Devin Booker and the Suns
Or the Jazz.
or the Jazz in that case, Donovan Mitchell and Rudy.
And like I mean, and then of course you got the Clippers. So this is a pretty stacked West Coast. This is a very top heavy because look at the
Right.
standings. We got the Jazz, we got the Suns,
Hmm.
second, third Clippers,
Yep.
fourth Nuggets, fifth Lakers. Then you got the Blazers, Mavericks, and Grizz. But looking at that top five, Jordan, it
Mhm.
looks pretty stacked. Like I think
I'm I'm
any
I'm a
of those
big
teams can win
fan.
it.
I'm a big fan of the Clippers. I mean the Nuggets, because with the recently traded when
Jokic.
when they got all the trades, the Nuggets acquired Aaron Gordon, and I'm a huge fan of Aaron Gordon's game. I like what he does. I like, he just knows what to do at the right time. He's a strong player. Orlando developed him well. Um, but now
Yeah, got
he's just gonna do
the
any better. So I think I'm gonna give it, a little bit to see the Nuggets kind of climb. Uh, but if they don't climb, within a couple of weeks, I think it's not really gonna improve. But if they do climb, they're gonna keep on going and kind of maybe steamroll a little bit.
now a few years back, everyone was saying that their main player at the Nuggets was Nikola Jokic, but he's
Yeah.
not the game-winning shot type of guy. He's not, you
No, he's
know,
not.
no Shaq or anything. Who is that player at the Nuggets that can, hey, give him that one last shot to win the game? Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray is a freak athlete. But I think size wise, you don't want Gordon.
Yeah, and then of course they got JaVale McGee as backup.
Yeah. And JaVale actually was in Denver before. I think he started his career off with J.R. Smith and Carmelo Anthony in
Oh
Denver.
wow, that's way back, dude.
So kind of like a full circle.
Yeah, and to be honest, like this Nuggets organization, they
Mhm.
always come around and the pitch every 4 or 5 years. They pick up some players, and Denver is not the sexiest place either. It's like Milwaukee, you know. So you got to deal with high altitude. But hey, this is the same team that had Matumbo back in the '90s. So we'll see if this
Yeah, he
Nuggets team
did.
can make to the finals
We'll
of
see.
this.
Yeah, we'll see what they can. We'll see what they can do. But Santiago, I know you had some talking points, some things you wanted to discuss. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, so obviously tonight is the March Madness National Championship. The Baylor Bears against Gonzaga. Looking forward to this game. As we spoke earlier, it's going to be tough to live up what's going to happen, like what happened this past weekend with UCLA and Gonzaga. But this national championship game, it should be close, Jordan. I'd like to see more Suggs. The Bears beat Houston pretty bad, like by 20 points. Looking forward to it. Butler is the main guy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Jared Butler.
yeah, he had 17 points, all from the first half.
Mm-hmm.
So if they were leading now, Gonzaga is the favorites. I think I gotta look at the.
Although they're the favorites by a long shot. Actually, Loyola uh Loyola Chicago was actually favored to win it all for the March Madness. Um,
And they didn't.
and they didn't. They topped Duke though, and I think they were like
Yeah, but the
they
Duke
think
team's not that good though
no,
this year.
no.
Um, and I was gonna say Gonzaga is favored by 4 points tonight,
Mm-hmm.
so it should be close, not bad. Also another big college, UNC has hired Herbert as their main coach. Let me pull this up.
It was sad to see Roy Williams retire, and he retired on April Fool's Day, which I thought was
I
like,
thought it
no,
was a joke too.
I thought
I
this is
really
this
thought
has to be a joke.
there's a lot
Um,
of joke that day, but they hired Hubert Davis. He was an assistant coach with UNC, so he knows the organization, the culture.
yep.
Fantastic basketball player. He also played as a player. This is good for UNC. All the Alabama fans were worried because they thought that UNC might hire Nate Oates, but they're going to
They're gonna
hire
stay
from
within the
within
program, stay within the
with
family.
program within the family. I think is very smart, and yeah, that's something with college
Well, I
basketball.
think that's good because it's a smooth transition. The players,
Yeah.
see these guys, see the assistant coach day in and day out,
By
just as
the
much as they
way,
see the head. So,
last Friday,
mhm.
from the college basketball big show, you guys talked about like the transfer portal for college basketball and
Yeah,
how it's kind of negative. What were your thoughts about that? You think it's not good for the players just to transfer because they're not getting like their full 90 minutes or something?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really agree with the transfer portal. I don't really like it, but that's from a fan's perspective. This is from someone who, watches it, but I'm not a player that has to go to school there and then has to go to practice day in and day out. So for the player, it might be great, but uh, I mean, yeah, it's just it's a little confusing at times, but again, the players always come first. So but with the transfer portal and the retirement of Roy Williams, it's gonna be interesting to see how many players go to UNC. Um, but
Hey, it's the same UNC that grew Michael Jordan.
and I'm actually gonna talk about Ao Desamanu. If you guys don't know who Ao Desamanu is, he's the point guard for the University of Illinois. He actually ended up winning the best point guard in the nation award, which is a huge deal in college basketball. He's a kid from Chicago. He stayed in the state of Illinois. But his right wing, Adam Miller, they were crosstown rivals in high school. He actually has now opened up to the transfer portal. So that's gonna be very interesting where he's gonna go. And to get even deeper in that one, DJ Stewart, who also played high school basketball in Chicago. So Ao Desamanu, DJ Stewart, and Adam Miller all played in the same conference in high school basketball in Chicago. DJ Stewart played at Whitney Young, and Adam Miller and Ao played at Morgan Park, which is like the top schools, in the nation and Illinois.
Are you saying Illinois produces great basketball
I'm
players?
saying Illinois produces great basketball players, but Adam Miller, I'm going to call this before it happens. I'm going to call it out on the sportscast.
Ooh, gutsy, gutsy. Let's do it. Let's hear it.
DJ Stewart has now declared for the NBA draft, which makes sense. He's had um, incredible freshman year. He was named ACC Freshman of the Year.
Dude, that's awesome.
Adam Miller
That is
has
something
now
that
entered the transfer portal. Now, have
oh
Adam
wow.
and DJ been in conversation? Is Adam going to take over Duke? Is that what we're going to see? Possibly, possibly. So I'm going to say Adam Miller is going to go to Duke.
This is prediction slash late breaking news because the first part was news, the guy declaring for the NBA, or was that a prediction?
Oh, he's already declared.
Oh, he
No.
declared. Okay, that's good. By the way, speaking about like the awards, Luca
Mhm.
Garza won the Naismith Player of the Year.
Yeah,
He's from
he's a great
Iowa,
player. I love him.
and he's probably going to declare
He's
for the
huge
NBA.
though. The guy is absolutely
6'11".
huge,
That's the same size as Drummond.
and he has size, and he has mass to him. The
Dude,
guy's
that's
uh, the
huge.
guy's ridiculous.
Kind of reminds me of Sabonis, the not the kid,
Mhm.
but his dad back in the '90s. He's that. But hey, and also Shane Battier reminds me a little bit.
Shane Battier. I haven't heard that name in a while.
No, he was Mr. Duke and played for the Heat, won a
Mhm.
chip there. And
Yep.
but yeah, we're gonna see some. I mean, do you think we'll have a good NBA draft? Do you think it's gonna like we're gonna see a whole lot of talent we saw this past month or past season? Do you think we'll have a good NBA draft?
Oh, I think we'll have a great NBA draft just because there's some players in them that we've been kind of waiting to see. But in my opinion, I think last year's NBA draft was more intriguing. I think the 2020 NBA draft was more intriguing than the 2021 will be, just because of the players in it. But I'm excited to see, who gets drafted where, and
So this
uh,
would not be that 2003 or 1996 or the 1984 draft where we saw Jordan and then like the 96 where we saw Kobe.
no, but I think it's gonna be up there though because I'm excited to see if I'm excited to see Jalen Green. He played on the G League Ignite team. I'm excited to see. Actually, this will speak volume for the G League Ignite team, which was a development team for high schoolers. Um,
Also, like
this
the
is
G
gonna
League.
speak
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, go
volume to
ahead.
see who gets drafted from their team.
So the G League players
Yeah.
have to go to the NBA draft to go onto an NBA team. Is that how it works?
Or they get signed.
Oh, okay.
But someone like Jalen Green, I think he's gonna enter the draft. And
Interesting.
but I mean, I'm excited. This Cade Cunningham from I think is Oklahoma State University. I'm excited to see Jalen Green, Jalen Suggs, DJ Stewart, Ao Desamanu, and I actually met Ao Desamanu when I was younger, so it's gonna be good to see that. But I think it's just
Hey,
gonna be a good draft, man. I'll tell you that it's gonna be a
we'll be
good draft.
following it here in the sportscast,
We will.
obviously,
Yep.
and then maybe do like a live show after like the first 10 picks or something.
Hmm.
Talk about the impact that these players will have in each team. We'll see if the
Yes.
Knicks will be in the top, well, in the top 10 draft order, but I haven't seen the draft order. Well, the lottery hasn't happened yet. That first happens, then the draft. So
Yeah.
interested. Anything else,
Anyway,
Jordan?
Santiago, anything else from you? I
Well,
cleared my notes.
hey, I mean, if you could say a final score for tonight, I mean, that'd be glorious.
82 to actually no. I'm gonna go 68 to 62.
60. Wow, that's a low scoring game. I'm gonna go 92-88 Gonzaga. That's
I'm just gonna go 62.
I
You know,
mean,
let me rephrase it. It's gonna be a 4 point. It's gonna be either a 4 point or 6 point game. So wherever the score is, I cannot tell you what the score is. That was my bad prediction. Kind of came off the top of the head, but it's gonna be either a 4 point game or a 6 point game with Gonzaga.
you know something? I think we might not see like a last minute shot or like a 29 footer. I don't think like what happened tonight. I think it's going to be a clear 4 point win, 6 point win type of game. I don't think it's going to be that tight, and I don't think it'll go overtime either. But if it does,
No,
hey, I'll take the dessert. Okay, it's
yeah,
like yeah, after full meal and they offer you key lime pie, I'll pay the extra $6 for that, and which is what I did for Easter yesterday.
really.
I did. What'd you do for Easter yesterday?
Had my family over, went to church. It was good. Just kind of have a sense of normalcy. Um,
Yeah, dude. Last year there was no Easter, pretty much.
yeah, no Easter. What about you, Santiago? Do you have a good Easter?
I had a good. I went to church with my family, and then we had lunch afterwards. We had calamari for appetizers.
Hmm.
I had chicken and waffles for my entree, and then the waitress offered key lime pie. I offered to pay for it. We all shared it. It was freaking good, and you get the best key lime pie in Florida. You can't find that in Chicago. I'm sorry.
Man, Santiago, I think we can go back and forth on that one.
What the fence? But if I was in Chicago, I would have a deep dish.
Hey, I haven't had, I've never been to Florida, so I couldn't tell you what their air is like.
Hey, but you are coming soon. I heard.
I am coming soon. I'm planning to. I have a couple things that I go down to Florida for. So when I go
Hey,
down to Florida, maybe you see me and Santiago in the same frame.
hey, exactly. Doing a live sports cast, maybe from Orlando or from a bubble of some sort.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Anyways, you can follow us on Twitter at the Sportscast One. Follow our website, thesportscast.net. Make sure you guys go check out our show schedule throughout the week. This is Jordan Vargas. But before I let everyone go, Santiago, where can we find you on Instagram and
and
Twitter?
Twitter. Yes, SLEON, Sleon. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter. Follow me there. I don't post much sports unless it's soccer. I usually post all my tweets on the Sportscast One on Twitter. But find me there. You could DM me. You could ask me any questions. You could correct me if I said anything wrong today in this episode.
And for me, you can find me on courtside with Jordan. On here, I have an interview with the general manager of the Orlando Magic, NBA trainer, 5 NBA, I forget it, 4 NBA players, and some exclusive people within the NBA. So you guys go check out my Instagram just to see what's going on, to see what the host is about for those people seeing me for the first time and people that have been seeing me for a little bit. I appreciate you guys for sticking around. But anyways, this is Jordan Vargas with Santiago, the best of hoops.